guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this long dress. So I'm making it for someone, and this is basically what you're going to cut out. So basically I have the length I need here. You can add at least like 2 inches to the length, so whatever their length is. So let's say it's 52, you can add extra 2 inches, that would be 54, right? So for the length, and then for the width, you're going to use the widest part of their body. So for me, I'm working with hip of her. The widest part of her body is 44. Her bust is also 44. So I'm just going to say that 44 plus extra 2 inches, which is 13. You see, this is the fabric on top, and it's 13 inches of width here, and this is going to be my front panel, right? So her hip divided by 4, which is the 44 divided by 4 is 11, but I added extra 2 inches, so I have 13 as the width of the cloth. And then for the back panel, because I'm going to be cutting both the front and the back at the same time, so for the back I have extra 1.5 for my zipper. So that's basically what I have here. So now, and each one is folded into 2. You see, this one is folded into 2, and then the back is also folded into 2. So now let's go ahead and insert the measurement. So I'm going to start from the top here, and I'm going to insert her shoulder divided by 2, which is 16 divided by 2. Mark that. And then I'm going to mark 1 inch for the shoulder slope. And then you're going to insert her armhole, which you can divide by using her bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So mine is about 9. Mark it here, and then I'm going to connect the two. And after that, I'm going to come up here, mark 3.5 for the neckline. You can do 3 inches, but I'm going to do 3.5, and I'm going to connect it from here to here. And as you can see, this is a V neckline, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down 1 inch for the back, connect it this way, and then I'm going to do about 8 inches for the front, which is somewhere here, and then I'm going to connect it in form of a V. So if you want, you can bring yours down a little bit more, but I think this is okay. And then after that, the next thing I'm going to do is just place back my tape, and then I'm going to mark her shoulder to her waist. And then once I mark that, I'm going to mark her shoulder to her hip, and then every other thing will remain the same. So I'm going to just come up to the bust, and then I'm going to mark her bust divided by 4, which, like I said, her bust is 44 divided by 4 is going to be 11. I'm going to add 1.5 to it, 1 inch of seam allowance, 1 inch of ease. But if you want, you can just do 1 inch of seam allowance, but I want it to have a little bit of ease, so I'm going to do half an inch there. And then come down to their waist, do waist measurement. Her waist is about 41.5, so divided by 4, mark it, and then add 2 inches here, 1 inch of seam allowance, 1 inch of darting, because it's going to have a dart. If this is almost like you're trying to make a pencil dress, right? And then I'm going to come down to their hip, and then I'm going to do the same thing, hip divided by 4, mark that, and then I'm going to add 1.5. Guys, if you want it to be like how free it is on the picture, you can even get away with doing 1 inch of ease, 1 inch of seam allowance at the hip, because if you look at this dress, you'll find that it doesn't look so fitted on her. It has a little bit of ease to it. So if I want at the hip now, I can do plus extra 2 inches instead of 1.5. I can do that here, and then I'm going to extend this measurement all the way down. So guys, after that, you see I connected my lines, and then I cut off the excess from my armhole all the way down. And then after that, I cut off the shoulder slope, cut off the first neckline I marked for the 1 inch and for the back, cut off the front neckline, and that's it. So all I have to do now is to go ahead and mark my dart. So for your dart, you will need to turn your fabric to the wrong side, right? So basically, let me show you what it would look like. So for my dart, all I have to do, starting from the center line here, I'm going to come in 4 inches, or you can just check what is their nipple to nipple measurement. So for her own is 9.5. So I'm going to do 9.5 divided by 2. So that's how I'm going to get where to start my dart. So that would be about 4.75. So like I said, her nipple to nipple divided by 2. Her nipple to nipple is 9.5. Divided by 2 is going to be around 4.75. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that here. Guys, don't mark this on the right side of your fabric. You have to mark it on the wrong side, but this is just so it's more visible in the video, right? So 4.75, mark that. You see, I marked it on the waist. So I'm going to go from her shoulder now, and then I'm going to mark from her shoulder to about where her nipple is. So shoulder to nipple for her is at 12. But my dart is going to stop at 1 inch before that, so at 13. So my dart will go from here to here, and then 2 inches before it gets to the hip. So this is the hip line, 2 inches before that. So all I have to do is just mark that same 4.75 here. Mark it also here. Connect it in a straight line all the way from here to here, and then you just have to mark half an inch on this side, half an inch on this other side. Connect it this way. Guys, this is just basically your pencil body's darting. And then I'm also going to mark the same here, and then the same also on this side. So that's how you create your dart. For the back dart, the same thing. You're going to stop here, the same at the waist, but it's just that it's going to go up to the chest line, which is most times the same line as your armhole. So these darts for the front is only going to stop, it's going to stop the same place at the hip. That's 2 inches before your hip line. Even on at the back, everything remains the same at the back, except coming up to the bust part, because your bust is in front but there's no bust at the back. So that's why you have to extend it. That going all the way is going to go all the way up to the chest line and stop. So that's how it's going to be done. So I'm going to go ahead now and mark this on the wrong side of my clothes, so that I can go ahead and mark my dart. And also, guys, don't forget, coming to this armhole part now, you have to reduce it. So on this straight line, find halfway through this line, somewhere here, and then I'm going to come in here by at least half an inch. This is only done for the front, so that your sleeve will relax better. Come in here and then mark it out. So I'm going to chip off this little piece of cloth, just so that my sleeve will not bulk up in front. So guys, you see, I've gone ahead and finished up the neckline. So you can use a facing, or you can use like a bias, so whichever one you want. So this is it here. So, and then I've also gone ahead and picked my dart. You see, there's a dart, 2 in front and then 2 at the back. So let's set this aside and cut the sleeve. So basically, this is what I'm going to be using for the sleeve here, and it's folded into 2, and I have 2 of it. So you see, there's 1, and then there's the second one also. So you see, 2 of them here. So to cut my sleeve, I'm going to fold it this way. It depends on you, the length you want to work with, right? So now I'm going to just go ahead and measure at least 4 inches from the top here down. So measure that, mark a straight line across, like how we normally do. Connect it from here to here. Basically, what you have here is your armhole divided by 2 plus at least 2 inches or so. And then I'm going to connect from this point here. Halfway through this is going to be somewhere here. Curve it above and then curve it below like this. That's basically it. So now coming down to this part, you can measure from her shoulder to her elbow what it would be, which is somewhere here, and then down here to what it would be. This is round her arm, somewhere here on her, right? So the first thing you're going to do on this part here, you add her the arm width divided by 2. Add 1 inch. Down here also divide it by 2. Add 1 inch also to it, and then you're going to go ahead and connect it. You see, I've cut this out, and then I have my sleeve. So I'm going to also set it aside, and then you can measure what you have at the opening here, because this is going to be the end of your sleeve plus the seam allowance too. Whatever it is, divide it by 4. right? You're going to divide it by 4, and then whatever you get is what you're going to use to cut the circle part. So you see what I have 2 of this here. So let me open it, and it's a square. All the sides are equal. You see, place this way is equal, place this way is equal, and then this way is also equal. So I have two of them here. So I'm going to place it on top of each other so that we can cut for the 2 sleeves. So let me put it together. So first thing, you put it this way, right? So once you put it this way, you're going to go ahead and put it this way into 2 and then into 4, because we're cutting a circle, right? And how you're going to determine the size is basically the length of the sleeve you're working with, right? So you need to know whatever the length is here. Let's say you need about 22, right? You need 22. So right now I have 15 here, which is half an inch at the top here and half an inch at the bottom here, because that's going to be, I'm going to be left with 14 when I'm done, because I need half an inch here to join the sleeve, half an inch at the bottom to join the circle part. So now that will leave me at 14. So let's say my sleeve length in total is at 23. So I need from this point here to this point for my sleeve to be complete. So that will give me, let's say that will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 9 inches more. So what you're going to do now is that 9 inches you will need more. You're going to add 1.5 to it, half an inch to join the bottom, and half an inch to join it to here, and 1 inch to fold the edge, except you're using lining to turn it over. Then all you need is just half an inch here at the top and half an inch at the bottom, because it's just lining that you're sewing it with, right? And then add that to the length you're working with. So for me, that's, let's say mine is 9, add it to it. So that's already 10, which I know mine cannot be 9, because 9 is already too much. But I'm just giving you an instance. So after that, you're going to measure around this to know what you have. So place it this way and measure round plus your seam allowance, right? Whatever you get, divide it by 4. So let's say whatever you get, when you divide it by 4, let's say you get about 4.5. Just place that 4.5 this way in form of a circle, or just place it in to make sure that you have it fitting all the way around here. And then you're going to go ahead and mark it. And then once you mark it, make sure that from this point now can fit in that the length that you need to complete your sleeve, which is that 9 inches or 8 inches plus extra 1.5 or plus extra 1. Then you're going to take your tape and mark it all the way around. So whatever that is, place your tape and mark it all the way to this point, and then you go ahead and cut it out. So once you cut off the bottom part, cut off the top part, this is what you're going to be left with. All you have to do, you see, we're left with something that looks like this. So if we open it, there are 2 of them here, you see, that's going to form that circle for the end of your sleeve. So all you have to do is just find one side and split it open from there. So I'm going to split it, and you see, now all I have to do is just open it this way, and then I'm going to attach it to the end of this sleeve. So I'm going to take it now and sew it at the end of this sleeve here, using half an inch to join it here, and then I'm going to fold it back and close up my sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and join everything together and bring it back so you guys can see. So guys, this is it here. It's done. You see, I went ahead, joined the back, and added my zip. So basically what you're going to do is, once you add the sleeve, you put the ruffle to the end of the sleeve, you join the sleeve to the body of the dress, close it down, and then coming down to the end here, it depends on you where you want to stop. But before you get to the end, you're going to use that seam allowance you have at the side. You're going to use it to turn it over by the side here. You see, I use my 1 inch of seam allowance to just turn it over, just to give it a slit to the side. If you want, you can close it up, that depends on you, and open it up at the center back. But this person wanted their slit to the side, so that's basically it here. And then I went ahead and hemmed the edge. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe, and bye.